Hey, what's up, everybody? How's your Sunday going? Yeah, thank God it's Sunday. Football Sunday. Hope your teams are doing well. My team is just blowing it right now. The Bills just can't. They can't defend. Offense is just struggling. So it is what it is. Can't wait to the NBA starts this week. Go Knicks! But we're not here to talk basketball or talk football or talk sports. This is DadPooL's discussion, and I am your host, the one and only DadPooL. And today is day 22 of DadPooLoWeen. And yes, the movie that we're talking about today is Wishmaster. Oh, this movie, I believe, is so underrated. I think the franchise is highly underrated. Another Wes Craven product. The genius mind that is Wes Craven. Sorry, had a quick pause. Thought my phone was about to die. But yeah, this was directed by Robert Kurtzman, who, if you don't know who Robert Kurtzman is, he had a lot to do with the Walking Dead success early on. He's in charge of the comic books, and then brought that adaptation to you on the TV screen for the various AMC series. So also he cameos in this movie. And speaking of cameos, we'll get to those a little later, but this movie was packed with an horror icon, star-studded cast. Granted, some of them, like I said, were cameos, but it's good to see them all. And Andrew Divoff, who plays the Djinn, who, if you don't know him, he was the bad guy in We Two Toy Soldiers with Sean Astin about the hijacked school back in, I believe that came out in the late 80s, early 90s. That was a really good movie as well. I would highly recommend checking that out. But the Djinn has always been one of my favorite characters. Wishmasters has always been a regular movie that I would definitely go out of my way to watch and put on and just binge the whole series. There's 4 of them. The first 2 focus on Andrew Divoff's character of Nathaniel Demarest. The third one, Divoff does not appear in. We have a new Djinn played by John Novak. And then in the fourth one, we have a new character too as well. I believe it's Michael Trucco plays Verdell, who is the Djinn in that one. But all 4 really, really great watches. There are some silly kills, but there's a lot of practical effects involved in these movies. So if you want to, you got nothing to do on a Saturday or any day of the week, at least pop on Wishmaster. They're all on Tubi. And you can just pop on one, it'll just play all of them right after the other. So let's talk about Wishmaster. Wishmaster 1 came out September 19th, 1997. A budget of about $5 million, and box office totals was about $16 million. Again, this starred Andrew Divoff as the Djinn / Nathaniel Demarest when he's in human form. Tammy Lauren, who plays Alexandra Amberson, in the movie. And she's been on various TV shows throughout her career. So she has a lot of different casting. Like she was in Young and the Restless. She was on Two and a Half Men. She was on Home Improvement for a handful of episodes. So yeah, Grace Under Fire. Her face is pretty recognizable. And then we have Robert Englund, who plays Raymond Beaumont, who is an art collector, and obviously Freddy Krueger. He's just one of the several horror icon cameos. The first one we hear in the opening is Angus Scrimm from the great horror movie Phantasm, who also has his co-star Reggie Bannister, who plays the pharmacist in this movie. So you had a couple of people from Phantasm in the movie. You had Ted Raimi, who his brother Sam is a legend in the horror movie industry. Evil Dead, Spider-Man, trilogy early on. Ted Raimi always plays those off, quirky characters. So look for him. Look for Kane Hodder. Yes, Jason is in this movie. He plays a security guard at Nick Merritt's place of employment at his job. We have Tony Todd, yes, Candyman himself, who joins the crew as Johnny Valentine. You better remember that name, Johnny Valentine. He plays sort of a bouncer, security guardish, you can't get into the party type of guy later on in the movie. Joe Pilato appears as well from Day of the Dead. He plays the forklift or crane operator in the beginning of the movie that has a drink and causes that accident. He plays Torelli. So yeah, very oh, last but not least, gotta mention this guy. If you've watched Back to the Future and Red from the bum from Back to the Future plays the same character in this movie. So I'm sure you'll recognize him in the beginning of the movie as well. So it's a host of great characters, great actors, and just the set had to have been amazing to be on that set, just to experience all that talent in one room. But yeah, let's get into the plot. So the movie opens as narrator Angus Scrimm explains that when God breathed life into the universe, the life gave birth to angels, the earth gave birth to men, and the fire gave birth to the jinn, creatures condemned to dwell in the void between the worlds. If a person wakes a jinn, they will receive 3 wishes, but the 3rd wish will free legions of jinn on earth. So we're in the year 1127, and one of these jinn, who's played by Andrew Divoff, asks the Persian emperor to make his 2nd wish. When the emperor wishes to see the wonders, the jinn uses his powers to torture and mutilate people in the palace. The emperor is horrified, but the jinn tells him to use his 3rd wish to set things right. Before the emperor can make his 3rd wish, Zoroaster, who's played by Ari Barak, he's a sorcerer, explains that the consequences of the 3rd wish and reveals a fire opal, which pulls the jinn inside and traps him, seemingly lost forever. Until that day, we come to present-day America, and we see Raymond Beaumont, played by Robert Englund, supervising some workers who were lowering a box containing an antique statue of Ahura Mazda onto a ship. The crane operator, Mickey Torelli, is drunk and drops the box, killing Beaumont's assistant, Ed Finley, played by Ted Raby, and destroying the statue. One of the dock workers steals the fire opal from the rubble and pawns it. Eventually, the jewel reaches Regal Auctioneers, where Nick Merritt, played by Chris Lemmon, instructs appraiser Alexandra Alex Amberson to examine it, which wakes the djinn. Alex sees something inside the jewel and leaves it with her close friend and colleague Josh Ackerman to analyze. As he's collecting data, the gem explodes, destroying the lab and releasing the djinn. Josh, who is wounded, wishes for relief from his physical pain, and the djinn grants his wish by killing him. You gotta be careful what you wish for, because you gotta choose your words very wisely with these creatures. Alex, having been informed of Josh's death by Lieutenant Nathanson, played by Rico Ross, tracks the gem to the statue, which she tracks to Beaumont, who sends Alex to visit Wendy Derleth, played by Jenny O'Hara, a folklore professor who explains the history of the gem and the nature of the djinn. A djinn grants wishes in exchange for souls, but as djinns are demonic in nature, the wishes will be twisted into curses for the djinn's amusement. Later, Alex learns that the djinn needs to power the gem with human souls, and then grant the person who originally released them, they call that the Waker, they get 3 wishes before he can open the gateway to release his fellow djinn on Earth. Meanwhile, the djinn takes the form of a dead man and uses the name Nathaniel Demarest. He kills a pharmacist with a wish of a vengeful vagrant, played by George Buckflower, and grants sales clerk Ariella, played by Gretchen Palmer, a wish for eternal beauty by turning her into a mannequin. Again, the hobo gets into an altercation with the pharmacist, and he's like really pissed off, and he encounters the djinn in the alleyway, and that's when the djinn conversates, kind of becomes friendly with him and finds out what his true wishes are. And when the guy says, I hope he dies of cancer and dies a horrible death, that's what happens. As soon as he makes that wish, it's granted. Boom. Pharmacist dies right on the floor. And then when Divoff, the djinn, is shopping for like a new outfit, meets the sales clerk, and she wishes to have eternal beauty. Watch what you say. Watch what you ask for. Boom. She's turned into a mannequin where she's forever beautiful. She's just a piece of plastic now. So it's kind of crazy. So searching for Alex, he goes to Nathanson to gain her information. Nathanson refuses to help him, but the djinn grants Nathanson's wish to easily prove a criminal's guilt by having the criminal go on a shooting spree inside the police precinct. And in the chaos, the djinn finds Alex's home address and then leaves. He then visits Nick, killing a security guard, Kane Hodder, which I'll show you some images in a little bit, by fusing him into the stained glass. When the guard says he'd like to see the djinn go through me, that's when the djinn grants his wish, turns him into that glass, and he walks right through, crushing the guard as he wished. Nick facetiously agrees to help in exchange for $1 million, which we pan to an airport and an old lady, and she's filling out some type of insurance information, and she's like, who's your beneficiary? And she writes Nick's name for the $1 million policy. And then moments later, the plane's taken off, and it's implied that the plane crashes, she dies, and that's how he gets his wish. I mean, doesn't come with comes at a pretty hefty price. Loses his grandmother. Loses his mother, I should say. It's kind of crazy. Alex sees troubling visions every time the Jinn grants wishes. She consults Derleth again, but soon realizes that she is talking to the Jinn, who has killed Derleth and taken her form. The Jinn confronts Alex and offers her 3 wishes. In the spirit of fair play, he offers her a free wish, just to see what will happen. She wishes for him to shoot himself, but he is immortal, and the gunshot fails to harm him, although he does say, for the record, that fucking hurts. Alex, using the first of her 3 official wishes, Alex wishes to know what he is. The Jinn teleports her to his hellish world within the gem, which terrifies her as he boasts his evil to her. She then wishes herself to escape back to her apartment alone. The Jinn had been threatening Alex's sister Shannon, played by Wendy Benson, so Alex hurries to a party Beaumont invited them to earlier. The Jinn follows, again disguised as Nathan Demers. Alex tells doorman Johnny Valentine, played by Tony Todd, to hold the Jinn as he is trying to kill her. However, the Jinn manipulates Valentine into making a wish to escape his routine life, allowing the Jinn to trap Valentine in a Chinese water torture cell, where he says something about Houdini escaped that in a few minutes. Again, these words that you're wishing for are being turned into your worst nightmares, so got to be careful. The Jinn charms Beaumont, who wishes his party would be unforgettable, and thus the Jinn causes artwork to kill Beaumont, the guests, and the security guards called in to help. Alex Kurtzman, who is the director of the film, he gets a cameo death as the piano breaks apart and the strings latch onto his face and neck and body and rips his head off in a gruesome scene. Eventually, the Jinn corners the sisters and attempts to scare Alex into making her 3rd wish by trapping Shannon in a burning painting. Alex then wishes that Tortelli had not been drunk at work 2 days ago, which the Jinn is forced to grant, but this undoes the events that followed the destruction of the statue and traps the Jinn in the fire opal again. The new sober Tortelli lowers the crate with no problems. Alex visits Josh, now alive again, who notices that Alex seems pleased with herself, though she does not explain why. Inside the jewel of the statue of Ahura Mazda, now in Beaumont's private collection, the Jinn sits on a throne, waiting to be released. Yeah, this and that's how the movie ends. At the end of the Wishmaster first one, and when the second one picks up, it picks up in sort of like an art gallery. So you're almost thinking that it's Beaumont's place, but it's never referenced that it's Beaumont's place that gets robbed of the of all the artwork that gets taken in the second one, and then the statue breaking and all the crossfire and that opal being released again. You never get that inclination, but it's kind of might be assumed that that could be his place. Well, some of the trivia from this movie. One of the statues in Raymond Beaumont's room was a statue of Pazuzu, who is the demon from The Exorcist. Pretty crazy. Some of the characters that are named Finney, Beaumont, Derleth, and Merritt are all references to early 20th century science fiction or horror writers: Jack Finley, Charles Beaumont, August Derleth, and Abraham Merritt. Again, this features numerous horror movie actors, including Robert Englund from Nightmare on Elm Street, Angus Scrimm from Phantasm, Tony Todd from Night of the Living Dead and Candyman, Kane Hodder from various Friday the 13th movies, Reggie Bannister from Phantasm, Ted Raimi from Darkman and Army of Darkness, just to name a few. So yeah, it's good to see all them guys together again. In many instances, this film pays homage to the series Twilight Zone. The character's name Beaumont, Charles Beaumont, was a frequent writer of the show. The Jin's line, "Going my way," when he stops Alexandra in the car, is a reference to The Hitchhiker from 1960, where a mysterious man continually plagues a female driver with the line, "I believe you're going my way." And the scene with the shop assistant wishing for eternal beauty is transformed into a mannequin echoes The After Hours from 1960, where a female shopper is revealed to be one of the store's mannequins made human. So yeah, again, if you have not checked out this movie, it's definitely worth the watch during October. The series as a whole is definitely worth the watch. I mean, for the simple practical effects, let's look at some of the photos from the movie. So here's an image of Reggie Bannister's character as he's getting those tumors and cysts, and he's dying of cancer that the hobo wished for in the beginning. He's the pharmacist, so that's a really cool use. And we know that Nicotero, we know that Kurtzman, they all love that practical effect stuff. Here's an image of Ariella when she's turned into the mannequin in the movie, when she wishes for eternal beauty. Like I said, you get what you wish for. There she is, pre-mannequin, so very, very spot on, very spot on. Then we have Robert Englund, interaction with Alex. And then here's Johnny Valentine, Tony Todd, outside with the Jinn before he gets put into his water torture, till he meets his fate that he can't escape. And then here's a picture of the Jinn. The Jinn, just a very cool design. And the thing about this is they didn't stray too far away from this design in all the movies. It's very similar throughout, even with different actors playing the role. And the Jinn is just, not only is it based on real history, it's just the look is unreal. Yeah, I mean, I would die to have a costume of the Jinn. That'd be crazy for Halloween. And then we have this scene with Ted Raimi in the beginning, where he's just about to, before he passes away and gets the box dropped on him. So again, as always, I try to make images of DadPooL within the movie. So here's my image of myself as the Jinn in the alleyway when he has the hooded cloak on, and he's talking to the hobo. And then here's me actually watching Wishmaster on TV, getting ready for my podcast review. I think Andrew Divoff likes it. Look at that smile. He loves it. He loves it. So that brings me to you guys. What are your guys' thoughts on Wishmaster? Is this a movie that you've seen? And what do you think of the sequels? Is this something that you revisit at all if it's on during October on TV? Or is it something that's just a one and done? You watch it and then it just kind of goes to the wayside. I'm curious about that. Let me know. And while you're on your way down to the comment section, letting me know about Wishmaster, it'd be very appreciated if you guys would hit that like button, hit the subscribe, turn the notifications on, and maybe even share it out to a few people. Let get the word out that DadPooL's Discussions is a regular podcast. I try to put up content daily, whether it's on YouTube, TikTok, Twitch. So definitely hit the descriptions in the or hit the links in the description. You got my merch store. You have my TikTok. You got your YouTube, your Twitch. Definitely check out the Discord as well. We're growing so fast, and we're gonna have some special Discord only events very soon. So make sure you get in there and take advantage of what we're gonna have to offer through Discord. Um, and then also what we're gonna be planning in later months. So after we're done with DadPooLoWeen, we're gonna move into November, which we're gonna be doing horror then and now, which is where I discuss the original movies versus the remakes or reboots. The first episode is Hellraiser 87 versus Hellraiser 2022. So if this is something that you're interested in, hopefully you'll again hit that notification bell and stop on through. And if there's a horror franchise that you want to discuss, maybe you like the reboot, maybe you love the original, maybe you hated it. I'd love to get you on. We can discuss it. We can dedicate a whole show, just me and whoever wants to come on. The mic's always open, and we can talk about the comparisons of franchises then and now. And then coming up about a month later, after that in December, we're going to do holiday 25 days of Christmas horror, where every day I'll be reviewing, like I'm doing for DadPooLoWeen, a holiday slasher or dark themed holiday movie. So yeah, be on the lookout for that. So much happening, and then in between those series, I'll be sprinkling in random videos of maybe something new that I just watched that just came out, a quick review, or again, I got to revisit the top 50 villains of cinema, which I have a few episodes written. I just got to get them recorded. I really wanted to bring you this Halloween content first. So again, I want to thank everyone who stops by the channel, comes by the lives, participates in the comments, who donates. It's greatly appreciated, and to be honest, much needed right now. It's going to be a busy week. I got a couple appointments this week. Hopefully, fingers crossed that my eye is not permanently blinded. But as I can tell you as of the recording of this video today, that I can't see out of it. I close my eye or put my hand over my right eye, and I can't see anything out of my left eye. And it was the worst night last night sleeping. I had so much pain in my head and behind my eye and in my eye. It's just so tough sometimes. So anything helps, whether it's 1 bit or 1,000 bits, 1 sub or 10 subs. It all adds up. I greatly appreciate it. Or there's my PayPal, which is scrolling along the bottom, if you want to make a direct payment to PayPal and avoid if you don't have access to bits or anything on Twitch. But it's totally up to you. I appreciate you just being in here, listening and watching and interacting. But on that note, I'm gonna get up out of here. So before I go, I just want to say, go watch a movie. Whether you watch Wishmaster tonight or some other movie that might be playing during AMC Fear Fest, because the horror movies are on the clock. Just watch a movie, enjoy, and then hug your loved ones. I'm telling you, hug your loved ones, because again, time is so precious. And until I see you guys in the next video, this is DadPooL out. And again, thank you so much for stopping by, and love y'all.